So have you ever worked for someone who exhibited jerk-like behaviors? Like they micromanaged, like they took credit for your work, like they yelled and threw things, like maybe they just didn't listen or didn't seem to care. And if you did, what did you do as a result? So some people tell me, well, you know what, I just kind of hunkered down, hid out, didn't bring my discretionary effort to work at all. In other words, I would say he quit and stayed. And others say, no, I quit. I walked. I left. I left that organization. And isn't it sad but true? Sometimes we find out how treasured, how important we are in the exit interview when we have one foot out the door. Now, why is it, do you think, if it feels so good for the recipients, why do you think managers aren't doing this? And I'm going to hazard a guess that many of you listening to this aren't doing this. It's called a stay interview. Why would they not be doing it? And I know you're thinking of it. I know you're thinking of the answer. It's fear, isn't it? You're afraid that you're opening Pandora's box. I mean, what if I ask what will keep you here and you answer with something I can't give? So complete this sentence. The last time I had fun at work was ... Think about when it was and think about what you were doing. So I ask people this all the time, and I get answers like, well, we stayed up all night working on a project in order to finish it. Wouldn't want to do that often, but we had an absolute ball. Another response was, we decorated the boss's office with streamers, we brought in a cake, we sang to him, he was thrilled, it was fun. Another one was, it's just the day-to-day laughter I share with my colleagues, that's all. Another one said, oh, I did some mentoring, and that was actually a lot of fun. So think about your answer to that question. The last time you had fun, and what was that made up of? Too many workplaces are what I would call fun-free zones. People just aren't having a great time. And you have to wonder, why is that? And I believe it's happening because of fun myths. Myths about fun in the workplace. Okay, let's say that you say to me, I think it's my positive attitude in dealing with conflict that allows me to work well on this team. What words blink for you? Positive attitude might, conflict might. Now, my job as a listener is to follow up on one of those. Follow up on conflict, for example, say, gee, what kind of conflict have you faced and what did you do and how did that work out? Or you could follow up on positive attitude and you could say, how do you account for the positive attitude? Where have you learned that? Where have you employed it? And you can see how that would work. Now, if I followed the conflict one and said, so what about the conflict? Where have you had to, work with people who were in conflict? And he says, well, I grew up with 4 brothers, so I had a lot of experience dealing with conflict. So then again, there's the word conflict. You could say, well, what strategies did you learn in dealing with those 4 brothers that you can then bring to the workplace? So I guarantee if you follow the blinking word, your mind cannot be wandering. You can't be planning dinner. You can't be multitasking. You can't be reading your email and doing this. So if you want your employees to know that you're listening and listening well and listening deeply, try the blinking word.